class, and I want you to understand that we are just going to be doing some housekeeping, just for those who are beginners to understand why exactly are we here, what exactly are we covering in this session. That is the entire reason why we are having this first session, okay? So it's for everybody to understand that we are here for a particular reason. What are we here for? To transform your data skills in 30 days. If you are ready to master Excel, I want you to type in the chat that you're ready to master Excel. Just type your name, where you're joining us from, and say, I am ready. I want some motivation here. I am ready. My name is Bernard Moneme. I'm a data scientist and the lead trainer of Lagrange Galaxy. And I'm going to be your host for this 30-day Excel challenge. We have amazing people joining us from all over the world. And I'm really glad that you're here with us today. Now, what exactly is Excel? When we talk about Excel, what is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet software that helps us organize, analyze, and also store data. Someone was asking me recently if they don't know if they should sign up or maybe join Learn Excel or something. And I'm just here to tell you that as long as you use information, you use numbers, you use words, you store them somehow, and you want to make informed decision, Excel can help you do that. It is used for different purposes. Doesn't matter if it's budgeting, data analysis, project management, whatever you want to use it for, Excel can handle that for you. Okay, so this is a very important skill that you need to upgrade your career. I always tell people about how Excel has helped me and how it has also embarrassed me. There was a time when I didn't know Excel at all, and I was embarrassed to come out to say I can use it. One of my supervisors back then at the Institute of Human Virology in Nigeria, when I was still doing my practicum for my master's, gave me a task in front of everybody. I was like, okay, Bernard, you can use Excel, right? Why don't you come and help us do this and do that? And I was really embarrassed at that point. I was not confident in my skills, and I was like, Ma, please, don't worry, you're doing a good job. Because she was doing some things that were looking like magic to me back then. But I'm just here to tell you that it is not magic. You can definitely do it as well, okay? And if you can do it, I'm going to show you how. So I've also met many people along the line that have asked me, okay, can you use Excel? You can use Excel and use other tools as well. You're already on the right path, and that's what we're here for. Excel is very, very important. What is the importance of Excel? Like I already mentioned, it helps you to make informed decisions. For instance, if you want to maybe unlock some insights in your data, instead of just guesswork, if you have sales data or you have some data set you want to budget, maybe, and you want to know how much you're spending, what you need to replace, whatever the case may be, instead of just guessing and saying, maybe I need to buy this, or I need to do this, I need to change this, Excel can help you make a properly informed decision. Okay, that is one of the powers of Excel. Also, it can help you automate and then streamline your work. Very easy. If you want to streamline your work process to know if you're on the right track, Excel can easily do that for you. Save your time, increase your productivity. I saw somebody trying to convert some formulas manually, just typing them. Maybe you have like 100 rows. Now you want to start converting them one by one. That is a waste of time. There are ways to automate this and make it faster. That's exactly what Excel can do for you. That's what we're here for. I also mentioned that we're going to be learning a lot in this class. Some of the things we'll be mentioning in this day one session include things like sum, average, VLOOKUP, index, match, and then we'll be learning some things about data cleaning, manipulation, and then towards the end of the class as well, we'll be talking about pivot tables, what if analysis, pivot charts, formatting, visualization, and so on and so forth. There's so much. We've been posting continuously the calendar that we're going to be using for this challenge. So as long as you are here and you are listening to everything that we're saying, we're going to be handling all of this. So just give me 1 second while I make sure that everybody's following. I want to be seeing the chats. Let me respond to some of the chats. Let me see what we have here. For those who are joining us. Okay. Let's see those that are with us. All right, we have Nos from Swaziland. We have Oluwadare Fisayo. You can, if you're joining us now, kindly type in the chat exactly where you're joining us from, your name and your location as well, so I know that you're here with us. Okay? All right. Now let's get back to our presentation. We have some essentials that you need to understand. And this is what I just mentioned now already. For week one, what are we going to be doing in week one? Week one is for the people who are not so familiar with this. So we need to know the basics. Introduction to Excel. You handle some interface, understand the interface. This is just PowerPoint presentation. I'm still going to open my Excel um, software to show you the interface and then show you how to navigate it, data entry, formatting. You're going to learn all of this. And then some essential formulas as well that you're going to learn. Sum, average, count, mean, max. You're going to learn all of this in this session. Then for data cleaning, we're also going to do that in week one. How do you remove duplicates, for instance? How do you use stream, upper, lower? All of this is part of the data cleaning mastery that we're going to be learning in this 30-day Excel challenge. Text to columns. What does that mean? Don't worry. Just stay with me. I'm going to show you what everything means. Then for today as well, we're still going to be touching some slicers, understanding how to filter data and more like that. So if you're here, you're in the right place, believe. Then for week two, we're going to be touching functions and pivot tables. What exactly are text functions? How do you use text functions? Left, right, mid, concatenate. If this is sounding like spells to your ear, don't worry. When we get to week two, I'm going to explain everything and break it down for you. They are not spells, they're very easy to understand. You're not going to be confused at any point. Any point you're confused, there's always a group chat where you can send messages during the week and it's going to be explained to you. So our live sessions normally hold weekends, Saturday and Sunday, where all the tasks and everything will be broken down. Like for today, I'm going to explain everything I'll be handling for week one and then also teach for week one. Then from Monday to Friday, you're going to have the opportunity to now do your assignments and your task that will be given to you. So the weekdays for your tasks, you have to submit that by Friday so it can be reviewed before we get into the next week. Okay, so the week ends are for live sessions, weekdays are for tasks. All right. Then, like I said, we'll do data validation. How do you use restrictions, put error messages? How do you use pivot tables? How do you create pivot tables? All of these are what we're going to be teaching and explaining in this 30-day Excel challenge. Then for week three, we'll get into Power Query basics. You're going to understand Power Query. Some people don't know what Power Query means. It's a very, very powerful part of Excel that was added so that you can handle multiple rows and then many functions without even typing formulas. Just at the click of a button, so many things will happen when you use things like Power Query. They also handle what if analysis, advanced Power Query, data consolidation, and more and more. All of this is what we're going to be handling and teaching in this Excel challenge. Then for the final week now is our wrap up. We're going to have a recap session. We will now review what we've done, make sure everybody is following along, check the assignments, check the dashboard you're going to be creating, and then afterwards we're going to see those that created the best dashboards. We're going to have a presentation, top 10 projects. Even if you don't get your chance to present on this, I'm sure at the end of this you must have created a dashboard that would solidify everything that you've learned, because that is going to be the final phase, week 4, last week. So this is our calendar summary. We've been talking about this continuously on the group chat. I'm just putting it out here in case some people missed it. For today, which is October 4th, this is what we're going to be handling. I'll show you the Excel interface. I'm going to take you through some key formulas. Then I'll show you some data cleaning methods you can use to clean your data. Then we'll also talk about how to sort, how to filter. Also, if we have time today, we are going to create tables and then use the if functions, VLOOKUP, and more. So, but I'm going to show you our day one task specifically so that you know what we are meant to handle today. And then week 2 and week 3 and week 4, we'll handle every other thing. At the end, we're going to have a dashboard. After creating our different charts, you're going to learn how to use all of this. So I want you to just relax, sit back, relax, get a bottle of water by your side. Today is just for understanding basics. Of course, we're going to be handling some very important parts, but I'm going to start from beginner level so nobody is confused. If you're already familiar with Excel beginner interface, Excel, every other thing. You can leave us for the next 30 minutes. We're going to use 30 minutes of our time to properly break down everything about the Excel interface. Okay? And that brings us to the end of what we have for our presentation. Okay? The next thing we're going to be handling now is the Excel itself. Excel itself. So I'm going to share my screen now so you see that. And then maybe I'm going to also stop, hold on while I stop sharing my screen for 2 seconds. For those who are just joining us now, you're very much welcome. Welcome to the 30-day Excel challenge. I see we are getting to 100. My name is Bernard Moneme, like I said, and we're getting into the business of the day. If you're here and you're joining us, your name, where you're joining us from. I'm Bernard Moneme, joining you from Abuja, Nigeria. This is 3:11 p.m. West African time by my time. So if you're here, you're in the right place. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my camera now so I can focus on the important thing, which is the Excel that we're here for. There may be no need for that. I can still leave it on. Let me just share my entire screen and show you how we start from scratch. Hold on a second before I do that. Hello? Okay. Okay, I'm already sharing my screen now, I believe. Yes, so how exactly do we go to Excel? The first things first, you need to understand how do we go to Excel? This is how I open my Excel. I just come here to my search bar. What the task you can see here is what we're going to be handling today. I'm going to be going back and forth with that. And I open Excel. This is my Excel. My Excel is going to take maybe a couple of seconds before it opens up. Okay, once Excel opens up like this, then I will now open my blank workbook. This is what Excel looks like. So for those who have never used Excel, this is exactly what it looks like. This is what it looks like. The interface. We have the home. We have the insert. All of these things you can see up here is what we call the ribbon. Everything up here is called a ribbon. And this is what helps us to know what we are doing. So under every ribbon here now, we have what we call a tab. This is the home tab. This is the insert tab, and so on and so forth. Draw tab, page layout tab, formulas tab, data tab. We also have the review tab, view tab, more and more and more. So all of this is different tabs that we have in Excel. Once you click on this file now, it keeps on opening this part. That happens. But I'm not going to click it on it again. So we're going to start explaining the basics. But before I get into that, I want you to understand something very critical, so that once I start speaking, we're not going to get lost. One very important thing you need to understand is what exactly is a cell. A cell is an intersection between the column and the row. This is a cell. Where I am now is a cell. This place I'm typing cell is called a cell. What exactly is the column? All these ones you see A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth, they are the columns. Okay, So A down here, B from up to down, up to down, up to down are the columns. Then the rows are 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Those are the rows. Okay, that is clear. That is clear and understood. I want to see some people type in the chat that that is clear and understood. Let me go through the chat and make sure that people are following. If that is understood, I want to see that you say that is understood. Okay, you're still with me then. If you're still with me, I would like to see some interaction. Let me know you're still with me because occasionally I'm going to be coming back here to make sure that everybody is together and we are following along. If you're with me, I want to see some chat saying you're with me. Let me see some chat saying you're with me. I'm going to pause the class for a couple of seconds while everybody gets seated, and then I know that we're together. Okay, since that is clear and understood, we get back into our business. I just have to come back here to check and make sure that we're all together. We are over 88 now in the chat. Now I can be more relaxed that everybody is together. Okay. Now the next thing we need to handle here is the, sorry, permit me to still turn my camera just for a couple of seconds. I'll soon turn it off. I just have to do that. Now we know what columns are and we know what rows are. Let's get into this. The home here now, we have everything under here is called a group. Under the home tab, we have different groups. We have the clipboard group, we have the font group, alignment group, and so many other groups. I'm going to be touching them one by one, and even along as we go along in the course, you're going to also see how we use them. Under insert, we have different things here. When you think about insert, just think about maybe you're trying to insert like a pivot table, you're trying to insert a chart. This is where we create our charts, just to give you heads up. So when we get to chart creation, you'll see how it works. This is also where we can maybe add a text if we want to create a text box or something like that. Okay. And when we come to draw, you can easily use this to draw. You may not need to use this. Most people don't use it, but just in case you need it, it's here. If you want to draw something, there's so many things that Excel can do, you'll be shocked. Then for the page layout, under the page layout tab, we have so many things that we can do here. If you want to remove these grid lines, for example, I'm sure you can see these lines here. If I click this, my Excel is now white. Nothing is there anymore. I can click on view so that the lines come back and so on. If you want to change the background, we can change the background. If you want to change the size, the orientation, turn the Excel the other way, you can do it. Add colors, so many things you can do in the page layout. Then under formulas, this is a very important section. Just to tell you that you don't have to cram everything. This formula section is where it would help you in case if you forget on how to type some things. Now, for instance, you can always come to this formula tab and easily just know that, okay, maybe for instance, let me show you something. I'm going to show you how to use trim, remember, and show you how to use len. But if you forget those formulas now, you can come to this text side and you're going to see things like trim here now. It helps you remember easily, just in case you forget it. Or you want to do date and time. Maybe let's say, okay, what is today? We just click on this today. And then if I click on OK now, that is today. 4/10, 4th of October 2025. All those things now, there are different ways we can do it. Even here, if I click on today now, let me not get ahead of myself. We'll get it and it will still be the same thing, right? So you can type the formula or you can use this formula tab to get it. That's what I'm just trying to show you. We're going to get into more practical very soon. Let me not get ahead. So let's just relax. Like I said, just 30 minutes for catching up and understanding this interface. After 30 minutes, we're getting into the main business that brought us here. Then under data tab, we can do so much here. In fact, we'll soon come back here before the end of this class. Something I want you to understand is text to columns. We'll use it here. You understand what I mean by text columns very soon. And then something like how do you remove duplicates? This is where it is under these data tools. If you don't have Excel or if you don't have this Microsoft 365 and you need it, we just private chat the admin of your group. We have a partnership that we are running now that gives us the access to give license to people. Microsoft 365 license, which includes PowerPoint, Clipchamp, Microsoft Teams, so on and so forth. All the Microsoft softwares, you can get them when you pay for Microsoft 365. That one is, by the way, just private chat your admin if you need it. But if you already have Excel, use your Excel. They are almost the same thing. But if your Excel is too old, there are some things that you may not see. That is all. The newer version of Excel have some newer things that we are going to be using in this class. Then there are different ways to import data, like I mentioned. In case if you want to import data from web online, for instance, now you can come here from web and import it. During the course, we're going to show you how to do all of that. And then maybe I want to import data from maybe text or CSV now. I'm already clicking one. I'm not supposed to click anything. I'm just trying to show you when we get to the practical part, we're going to talk about how to use it practically. Okay? So that is it. I already clicked something, but I'm going to cancel it. I'm not trying to import anything yet. Okay? I'm going to import something very soon. When we get there, we'll talk about it. Then for the review now, this is just interface discussion like before. There are things you can do here. Check your workbook statistics, check spellings. Is the spelling correct? Any typos? You want to get the definition of words or things like that. All of this help you. If you want to protect your worksheet as well, maybe you want to give somebody the sheet. Oh, I didn't explain the difference between sheets and workbook. Now, this is a sheet. This place we are now is called a sheet. We can add another thing here now. If you click this plus sign at the bottom here, we can add another sheet. So we can have multiple sheets, and then the entire thing is called the workbook. Okay? Workbook can be made up of multiple sheets. So I can type something here now. Maybe I just say Excel. So if I come back here, this is sheet 1. Let me just call sheet 1 basics. I can rename my sheets as well. And then sheet 2, I can rename it. What do I rename it? Let me just rename it text to columns. When we get to text to columns, this way I'm going to do it. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to leave this so you can see basics. Let me type something here. Name, age, gender. So all the things I'm typing now, I need you to give me some data that we're going to be entering. I've started entering data already. I'm getting ahead of myself, right? So hold on a second. I'm going to come back to that shortly. Then we have view, where you can easily view certain things, maybe like the grid lines, like I mentioned before, if you want to remove it. Page break, page layout, if you want to switch the mode. Do you want it to be black like this? Maybe you tell me in the chat, which one do you prefer? The black mode or the white mode? Everything depends on you. Some people prefer the extra white. So to change this to extra white, back to the white format that you know, I prefer white dark mode sometimes, but let me just change it in case. You go to File, then you come to Options here. Then I'm going to come down here. You're going to tell me which one you prefer. And I pull my white. Then I click on OK. This is the normal Excel that most of you know. Everything is white again. So you are going to tell me now in the chat, which one do you prefer? Which one should I continue with for the class? I know in my own personal time, I use black, but some people might like the white version to see it better, maybe. But I prefer the black. So for you now, I'm not trying to influence your decision. For you, which one do you prefer in the chat? Let me know in the chat, black or white. That's what I'm going to continue with. I'm going to check the chat and then I'll decide which one I'm going to keep in the next 2 seconds. So tell me in the chat which one you prefer while I come back. Okay, so there are so many things we can do here in the view window. We'll come back to all of this. This is just a brief, quick summary. The more we use the tool, the more you understand what things are for. Okay, if you want to freeze some panes, I'm going to show you. We're going to freeze top row along the course. So everything is better practical. When we get to the practical part, you're going to understand how to do it. Then when you want to automate things as well, you come here to automate, and this helps you to automate. And if you have problems that you need Excel to help you with, you can contact support here, give them feedback under the help tab. Okay? So that is easy, simple, and straightforward. Any confusion, anything, tell me in the chat. Let's get interactive. Let me read the chat to know exactly what you prefer, white or black. I'm seeing white, 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 black, black. Now it's getting confusing. How do I should have dropped a poll so that it will be easy to explain this. All right, so let me turn off my camera briefly while I get into the main business of the day now. So I don't want my camera to be distracting. I want you to focus on what we have. We have over 100 people now on the live, so that is great. White, white, white. Okay, let me not be partial. I think I'm seeing more whites anyway. Really, I can't start counting this now. So permit me. Don't worry, we'll leave it white. When I get back to my business, I'll continue black. Okay, let's leave it white. Now, I want you to give me some names in the chat. I'm going to type some, but I'm going to also ask you to give me some name. Give me a name, age, gender, and salary. Okay, so just type those things. Let me type the first name that comes to my head. Suleiman. This is another form of data. This is the manual data entry. I'm just trying to do something brief, show you some practical with some things that we've spoken about now before we get into what we're meant to handle. So let me show you something briefly. Our day one class is what we're going to be handling. I've already talked about the overview of the Excel interface and navigation. We've handled that first part. We also understand cells, rows, columns, and sheets. If you understand cells, type it in the chat. I understand what cells are. I understand what rows are. Now let us do small basic data entry and formatting. That's what we're on now. This is the day one class, introduction to Excel. Okay. Before we now get into arithmetic operations, we'll talk about sum, average, talk about how to use autofill and flash fill. I will also explain absolute and relative references. All of this is going to happen in 2 hours. So, but we're going to take a quick 10 minutes break after 1 hour where you can drink water, relax, stretch your legs. I'm also going to stretch my legs before we get into the other parts. I'm also going to show you how to use trim, upper, proper functions, how to use text to columns, how to remove duplicates, how to use basic and advanced sorting, how to filter, how to use slicers for interactive filtering. All of this is what we're going to be handling, okay? So let's just do some basic data entry and formatting now. Now let me type my own. I might need 10, so I'll go back to the chat and I'll see the ones that we have in the chat. And I'm going to get those data. So let me go back quickly to the chat and see how many. Okay, we have some. I have Kevin, 43, male, 290K. But let me type mine first. Suleiman is 42. Gender. Okay. So let me clear this format. I think the format on this. Suleiman is 32. Gender is what? Male. Let me type it well. Or am I typing capital? Salary. His salary should be, what do we give him? This is, okay, monthly salary. So let's give him 35,000. Just basic something. Then what other ones do we have here? Somebody has typed, anybody that types complete, that's what I'm going to use. Hannah. Okay, Hannah is the first one. Hannah, we have Hannah, that is what? 22. This is how you type. Okay, let me explain something to you. Now I want to move to the next tab. Do you know how I move here? All I have to do is just press tab. I press tab, it takes me to the next row. So we say Anna, her salary is what? 150. Okay, then I press enter. It takes me back to the first cell. Then we have somebody else. We have David. Let's do this quickly. David, once I press David now, I press my tab, or you can press your right arrow and it takes you to the next tab. David is what? 40. David is a male. You can see this is what we call flash fill, but we've not gotten to flash fill yet. Once I type male now, Excel is suggesting those things. For me to use the suggestion, I have to just press tab and I go there. We have indirectly covered flash fill, okay? But don't worry, we'll still touch it when we get there, and I'll show you more examples on the flash fill. His salary is 250. Then who else do we have? Adepoju, okay? Adepoju, tab, male, 35, and then is 100K, okay? How many do I need to type? Let me just type 6 and then we'll stop at number 6. Kevin, we'll stop at number 6, so that is enough. It's just for some shots. Oh, what have I typed? I went to go and type. This is 35, sorry. What was I doing? Kelvin is what? 43. Kelvin male. We have too many male, no female. I'll add one more female when we stop. 290,000. Let me look for one more female that we have here. Okay, Ijoma. We have Ijoma. Ijoma is what? 30. We've not started anything yet, so there's nothing. We are still in the beginning phase. Relax. You're going to understand everything. That is something I tell you that you will definitely understand. There's a reason why I'm taking it very, very slow like this. We've not even started anything yet. I'm just doing some basic data entry. Unless you came late to the class, you're going to understand how we got here. Now we are still in the beginning part of our lesson, the most basic part that you can easily understand what exactly is happening here. Now, let me go back to the home. Remember before I mentioned that you can text row now to be capital or to be bold rather. It's already capital to be bold. All I have to do now is highlight all this row and I can come here to the top under the home tab and you can see there's a shortcut that it shows me, Control B. But I'm just going to press this and then you can see it is bold. That is our fonting. Now we can also come and say, okay, we want to give it maybe some color. If I click this first cell now in the name tab and I hold my shift and my right arrow key, it selects the next cell. I press the right arrow key again, it goes, and I press it again, and it goes to the salary part. I am now going to say I want to change this color. Maybe for instance, I can just come here and give it a different color. Let's give it something bluish like this. That's too dark. Let's give it something like this, for instance. So you can see this is what we can do with this simple design place. And then we can still just, let me move to the align now. You can see this edge by the right side is not really how it's meant to be. We want to align everything to the center. So if I want to align everything to the center, I can just click on this, highlight it again, and then I put it to the center. This is alignment. This is the alignment tab. If I want to align everything, I click on one part of the cell and I press Ctrl A. It selects everything. Then I can go to this alignment and then say align everything to the center. So I want everything to be in the center. It depends on how you want to align it. You can see everything has aligned down to the center. Okay, so now everything depends on you. Now the next thing I want to show you as well is this salary that we have here. You can format it to whatever currency you like. But because of my current location and how I set my Excel, if I just come here now under general and I click on currency, you can see it has automatically given it Naira. Okay, but I can change it to whatever currency I like. I can change it to whatever currency I like. Maybe if I come back to currency here now, or under this money tab, you can see we have USD here. I can change it to dollars if I like, and if I also want, I can put it as pounds. It's showing this because it has not been expanded, and then I can also put it whatever currency I prefer. Okay, even if I want to make it, there's anything you need in the world is here. Come to more accounting formats. Click on accounting formats, and then you're going to come here to the symbol part. Click, and then you select the currency you want. Scroll down, choose your currency. Even if you want Bitcoin, is here. I know we have some people from that use this ZAR. You can add it, okay, and then it gives you whatever you want. ZAR, okay, that's good. But I'm going to change it back to my Naira. Let me give you back my Naira symbol. So if I come here and I put it as currency. Okay, now as we've done this now, we can see that it is giving some decimal places. I want to remove the decimal places. We can just come here to decrease the decimal places. You can see decimal has been decreased, okay? Decimal is decreased. If you're following along, I want you to type in the chat that you're following along. Tell me you're following along. Let me be sure that we have people here that are following along and very, very interested in what we're doing here. Now, that is the simple thing that has to do with basic data entry and basic formatting. All you have to do to enter data is come to a cell, type what you want to type. I'll come to 8 now. Maybe I want to type somebody's name in the chat. Let me see somebody that was talking. Okay, Nimat. Let's add one more female. I just come to the cell, press N, Nimat. Okay. Then to move to the next column, a faster way you can do it is just to press tab, T-A-B on your keyboard. And then it moves to age. Age is now what? Nimat is 30. Nimat is 200 naira. Maybe you mean 200K. Then female. You can see now, as I just typed FE, this function here that is showing and what is showing me now is what we call flash fill. It has highlighted some part and it's trying to guess. It's asking me, are you trying to type female? If I say yes in my mind, all I have to do to accept its recommendation is almost like this when you're typing on your phone and then it's giving you suggestions, something like that. Excel also does it, but it does it from what you have typed in other cells before. So to accept that recommendation, I just press tab. Go to tab, it's directly above caps lock. Press tab and it accepts that. Then I give her salary. Let's give her 20K because I saw 200 there, but let me assume you mean 20K. Once I type that, it has aligned, and I come if it's not fixed properly. Fix my alignment. So that is that about fixing alignment. Okay. If you're following along and you're good to go, so in the next 20 minutes, we're going to be taking a short break for everybody to go and relax and do other things while we handle what we have. Now we have done the basics of our basic data entry and formatting. Of course, we have other things to learn about formatting, but we're going to be doing that while we touch other simple things. So it's going to be more practical. Okay? So the next thing we need to understand now is arithmetic operations. So I'm going to be touching arithmetic operations shortly. But before we do arithmetic operations, I need to show you something. Still under this home tab. For instance, if you want to add a cell now, or a column rather, maybe we forgot something here now. What did we forget? We want to add a region. We want to add a region to them. Let's know their region after their gender. Let's know their region. I want to add a new column. How do I do that? Well, there are different ways to do things in Excel, but I'm going to show you the different ways I can easily do that. But any column we're adding always goes to the back of the cell or the column that is highlighted. So if I want something to come in front of age, that is after age, let's say name, age, then region. That means I have to highlight gender, then add the column, and then it's going to be in front of age. Let me show you what I mean. I come to insert now, and I say insert sheet column. You can see where it came here. So now we need to put their region. I'm just going to type region. Let's know where they are from. Then I'm going to press enter. Suleiman is from where? Let's just give Suleiman from the name. It sounds like north. Press enter. Anna should be from, let's just give her east. Then David is from where? Let's just say David is from the south. Adepoju is from the west. Kelvin is from where? East. Then Ijoma is from the east. Then Nimat is from the north. Okay. Nimat can be from anywhere. But that is just the example that we're going to be giving for this class now. So this is just basic data entry, understanding it. Now let's go to arithmetic operations. For those that have done maths before, if you've done maths, I know many of us have done it. There's something simple that we know as plus, minus, subtraction. Okay, arithmetic operation. So that is what we call things like maybe addition is what? Plus. Then we have minus. I'm going to call it subtraction. Subtraction. This is it. All of these are arithmetic operations. We're going to use it in the practical now, so you understand. Don't worry about how it is showing. I'm going to show you how to align your cell easily so that everything aligns together. Then we have the next thing we have is division. We have division. How do we use division? This is division. Tab. Then we have multiplication. Multiplication. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to use all of this now. Now you can see it is not showing me the full words exactly how I want it. But there are two different ways I can align this if I want. One way is to just select all of them. How did I select all of them? Let me do it again. I click on the first shift and my right arrow key, the arrow key on my keyboard. I press it, one, press it again, continue till I select to the last one I want. Then now to make all of this align together, I'm going to press alternate on my keyboard. You see ALT, alt, alternate HOI. Can you see what happened? Everything just expanded and aligned together. So now we are together and we know that, okay, this is clear and good to go. Now, the next thing we need to do is to do the addition. How do we do addition? Some of you already know. But the first thing I want you to know is that before you type any formula in Excel, you must type equal to first, the equal to sign, before you do any form of calculation or in Excel. If I just type 3 plus 3, for instance, here, Excel does not know what I mean. It's just going to keep it there, okay? But if I want it to be, give me an answer, I'm going to just put equal to in front of this now, and then you see what happens. As soon as I press it, it happens. It gives me 6, right? I'm just trying to show you simple arithmetic operation. Then the subtraction, I press equal to, I say 12 minus 8 equal to 4. Division, put equal to, say 2,200 divided by 34. It's giving you the answer 5 point something. Multiplication equal to, remember, always put equal to first. 87. Then this is our multiplication sign. That star sign you see me put there. That is what we use for multiplication. 87 times 43. That's our answer, 3,741. That is easy, right? I want to see some charts in the now telling me I understand arithmetic operations. If you understand it, let me know you understand arithmetic operations. Okay? That's good. Now you can see that when I move now, if I move here now, this name is shifting. If I move like this now and I'm trying to see this last thing, I can't even see the name again. Okay? Which brings me to what I said I'm going to show you how to freeze some things. If I don't want this name tab to move, I want it to stay there. I want to be seeing the names no matter how I move or slide right, slide right. What do I do? You can easily come to this view tab that we used before, and then you say freeze panes, and you tell it freeze the first column. Now the first column is frozen. Now even if I move down here now and I keep on typing other things, slide, slide, you see you can't see any other thing, but that first tab you can see the name. The name is not moving. The name remains where it is, right? That's how I want it to be because we're going to type other things and this name will stay exactly where it is. Okay, now let's do some real addition. Let's do some real addition of what we have here. Another method you can use to do addition, for instance, is maybe you want to add two people's salary here. Um, okay, after salary now, let's add expenses for each person. So I'll do the expenses plus I'll use it in a reasonable way. The second way I said I was going to show you how to insert a column is when you select a cell like this, for instance, I select salary cell and I right click, then I click on insert. Then I tell it insert what? An entire column. I click on OK. Can you see what happened? A new column has entered. So what I want to write for them now is their expenses. I click on enter. What expenses do I want to give them? Maybe they did expenses. This person did expenses of 15,000. This one did expenses of 29,000. This one did expenses of 120,000. And the expenses of 45,000. These are the expenses of let nobody go and spend more than their salary. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I know some people spend more than their salary, but in this case, we are trying to give them perfect Nimat. Let's say Nimat spent more than her salary. Maybe she collected loan. Okay. All right. Then so to format this as well, remember how we formatted before? I've highlighted the entire cell. Just click on this E. It will highlight the entire E column. Then you come back to home. Then under general, you click on what? Currency. And then we have it. It gave me some decimal places. How do I remove it? How did I remove it the last time? I press these ones to remove it. Okay. Now that is it. Now I want us to do some addition with this data we have here. Now to add it, how exactly do we add it? We come here, I say equal to, remember I say we always equal to, we want to add the salary plus the expenses, which is not a normal thing. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to click on salary. You can see it has highlighted it. F2. F2 is the name of this cell. F is the name of the column. 2 is row. So where F and 2 meets, that's what we call F2. Cell F2 is where 35,000 is. We now say plus. All you have to do to get plus is on your keyboard. The plus sign is on your keyboard. There's plus on your keyboard, there's minus on your keyboard, there's division sign, that is a slash. Everything's on your keyboard. Okay. Then say plus 15,000 plus E2. Then I press enter. You can see that it has given me 50,000. Now let's say I want to do the subtraction. I would say equal to 35, that's F2 minus 15,000 in E2. E column, 2 row, E2. That's how we get it. 20,000. Okay? Simple. Then we want to divide the salary by the expenses. We'll do equal to 35,000 F2 divided by this. So all you have to do is just put the equal to, then select what you want, then put the symbol. If it's division, you put division symbol, then you press enter. That's it. Then to multiply it, I'll put equal to first, don't forget. Then we'll put 35,000 multiplied by 15,000. That's in E2. Press equal to. This is what we have for simple addition, subtraction, and multiplication understanding. Okay? That's how it works. Now, after that has been done, let me jump into understanding autofill. If I drag this down here, it is going to fill it with all the other answers that we had here. That is Excel smartness for you. Excel knows that when when I drag it down, it is now saying, okay, before you did F2 plus E2 and you got this first cell. That means if you drag it down, you want me to do F3 plus E3. Remember, this is F2, this is E2, right? That's the first one we did. But when we drag it down, it now did what we call relative references, meaning that references that change as the cell changes. So it now took F3 plus E3 and it went down again to take F4 plus E4. Okay? And then it calculated every other one like this down. Okay? It's the same thing it's going to do if we drag this subtraction now. Or let's say I don't want to drag it. I just come here. You see once you come to the edge of it, a symbol is going to come down here. A small plus symbol will come down here. And you can just double click it. And it's going to autofill. Autofill. That's it. Then we can also come down here to division, double click it, autofill. That's the autofill. If we double click this as well, it autofills it because it understands that we are trying to fill the other cells with the same formula that we used in the first cells. All right? Don't worry, we're going to still talk about that briefly and shortly. I just said let me show you how that works now so you understand exactly how it works. Now, after doing that, let's come back to our student guide that's going to guide us. We have done arithmetic operations. The next thing I want us to touch now is how to use sum, average, count, mean, max. We have indirectly done autofill and flash fill, and we have touched relative references, but I'm still going to come to absolute references and talk about it. Okay. So now we have done this addition, subtraction, and the rest. Now let me I can delete this. Everybody understands it. How do I delete it? While I'm deleting it, let me show you how it's deleted. So you learn that along the way as well. I highlight this first cell by clicking H, then I press Shift and my right arrow to get everything. I can easily just press delete on my keyboard and it goes. You can see it is gone, right? Or I do Control Z, bring it back, and I can come here, up here. Like I said, there are different ways to do something in Excel. And I can just click on delete here. And it deletes everything, including the format. That's the difference. This one deletes the header and the format that is there. So nothing is there anymore. But I don't want to delete the format there. I just want to delete only the write-up that is there. That's the things that we don't need. Now is the sum and the rest. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to type sum. Let's do some summing, average, mean, and max. Let's get into work for that. So what sum means? What does sum mean? What do you understand by sum? Sum is simple. It's the same thing as addition. It's just that this time around, to do summing, we don't need to type plus. We don't need to type the plus sign. So how exactly do we do summing? For instance, if I want to know the total salary that we have here. How much is the total salary we have here now? I just have to click on equal to. Remember, anything you want to calculate. whether you're using formula or function. Things like sum, average, they are functions. But to use them, you still need to type equal to before you can summon it. Before you summon a formula, you summon a function. You type equal to first. Don't forget it is very critical. Equal to, I type sum, equal to sum. Now you can see it has given me some suggestions, right? For me to use the suggestion, I just need to press tab, T-A-B. Don't forget tab is very important. Once I press tab now, it helps me to open a bracket. After your function, don't forget your brackets. Always remember to put your brackets. Now, after the bracket, it's asking me now, what do you want to sum? What exactly do you want to sum this guy? And I'll tell it, okay, I can sum a range. That's the difference. I can sum a range of things. I say I want to calculate the entire salary. So help me calculate from F2 down to F8. So all I have to do is come to F2, select F2, and then keep on dragging down until I get towards F8. Then I close my brackets and I enter. It has calculated everything for me. Let me do it again with a different method, just in case. You type equal to, you do sum, press your tab. If you know the cell that you want to calculate from, I can type it. I don't need to highlight it. But once I type it, it is going to get highlighted because it is a real reference. F8. That is what I'm summing. But that is not F8 we want to sum. We want to start from F2. So you can see it has highlighted F2. I just typed F2 on my keyboard. I didn't do any other thing. But I want to make it a range. So what do? F2, then I put the next thing, which is the colon sign. The colon helps us to calculate a range. F2, 2, that's what the sign means. F8. Can you see it has highlighted those cells? I'm typing it. I did not go there to drag it down. Then I just press equal to. Excel automatically knows to close the brackets in case you don't close your bracket yourself. But just make it the habit to close your brackets because in some cases it's not going to close it for you. Now it has given us the same thing, right? So now you understand how to do it. The same thing now we do for average. You come to average and then you type equal to average. As I'm trying to type average, it has already given me suggestions. That's the good thing about Excel. All you have to do is remember what the thing starts with, and it's going to give you some recommendations and the help that you can get to understand it. Average now, I just press tab. Remember, I want to find the average salary of everybody here. Average salary. How do I do that? I'll just, as soon as I'm touching F2, I just drag my keyboard down, drag my mouse rather, down to F8. Then I close my brackets like a respectable person and press equal to, and press enter rather, sorry. And then it has entered, giving me my average salary. Average salary is what? 135,000. Now, let me show you another way you can do this average in case if you don't want to type the formula. What do? Now you just come here to this upper part here under editing and you click this arrow, drop down arrow. You're going to see average. To use this one here now, you don't need to type equal to, that's the difference. And I click on average. Now it has highlighted, that's written average for me. It even wrote it with the equal to by itself. I didn't need to type that myself, okay? But it has highlighted the figure in the bracket for me. Now it is left for me to get the average of what I am trying to find. Now to do that, I just come to this same salary, or let me just type it now since we know it. F2 and the colon again and F8, and then it knows. You see, it has highlighted it for me. That's what we call our references. Then I put equal to. Boom, we've gotten our average, right? Then we move then to our mean. Let's find out the minimum. The mean here means minimum, not mean as an average. You know, I know MEAN is mean. MIN is still mean. But this mean that we're doing now is more about minimum, the minimum value. How exactly do we get the minimum value? We type equal to and the mean. Let's find out who has the lowest salary who has the minimum, the lowest salary here. Mean, and then you press tab. Don't forget, if you don't want to press tab, then you have to open your brackets by yourself. Then you go here and then you highlight everything here, and then I close my brackets. So our lowest salary here is 20,000. That's the minimum salary. Then for max is just the same thing. Max. If you press enter, it's going to give you error. I pressed enter now. That's what happened. So when you finish typing max and you want to, and they give you suggestions, don't go and see, okay, I've seen the suggestion. Just go and press enter. You enter error, and then you now start asking, why do I have error? Once you see the suggestion and you want to accept a suggestion in Excel, what you press to accept a suggestion in Excel is not enter. What you press is tab, TAB on your keyboard. Look for it. It's just above caps lock. So I'm going to press tab to accept the suggestion, and then it opens up a bracket for me, and then I highlight this, close the bracket, enter. So our maximum salary here is what? 290,000 by Kelvin. Kelvin is the one with the maximum salary. Okay, so that is simple sum, average, mean, and max. Now, if you understand all of this, I want you to type it in the chat that I understand sum, average, mean, and max. While we're drinking water, I'm looking at the chart. So we're going to take a quick 10 minutes break. This is already 4 o'clock. For those, we've been here for an hour. Just stretch your legs. I'm going to also stand up and stretch my legs while I'm explaining some things, while I'm reading the charts. For those who are confused, and also explaining some questions. So if you want to ask your questions now, you can ask your questions now in the chats while we're taking our 10 minutes quick break. So by 4:12, we're going to be back to continue with the session. 2 hours class. By 5, we're out of here. So stand up. If you're sitting down, I'm standing up. Maybe you can hear my seat. I'm going to take some stretches while I'm reading the chart. And for those who understand what we've been doing here since, type it in the chat. Let me know you're following. I understand how to do some understand functions. I understand formulas. Type something. Let me know what you understand. I understand everything. That's great. So I'm going to be drinking water. I hope you have water there to drink as well. Okay. How did I enlarge the cell? It depends on what you mean by enlarge the cell. If you mean how did I align the cell so that everything fits into the cell, there are two different ways to do it. One way is to go to the edge of the cell, and you're going to see a plus sign that shows there. Double tap it, and the cell expands. Or you click on the cell and you press alternate, HOI. So you hold alternate on your keyboard, and then you press fast quickly. Just press HOI, and then everything is going to align. Okay, so I'm taking questions now in the next 10 minutes while everybody's stretching. It means the song, you understand the remaining. Okay, that's great. Facial station understands art substation. I understand everything. This is good feedback. I understand everything. Yes, of course, we're going to have the recordings available. Day one recording is available to everybody, but for day two and onwards, it's only available to those who are in the exclusive group. So if you have not joined the exclusive group yet, this is the perfect time for you to go and make payments. Go to your group, account number has been posted there. That is the opportunity for you to make your payment so you can be added and receive the recordings quickly to your Google Drive and also the data set. For all you're going to have access to is this video. But if you need data sets for practice, if you need data sets to understand what we're doing and submit your assignment them, then you need to be in the exclusive group and be added there. And to do that, you need to know how you need to join the exclusive group. Okay? And that is not free. We are opening day one for everybody so you understand what we're here for and what needs to be handled. Okay. All right, let me check for more questions. Okay. Mm, somebody says, that's great. Okay. So let me explain how do you break a book. Formula section is not clear. Formula section. I guess you mean how to type a formula. Okay, we're still going to go back to that and we're going to go do a little recap on all of those things shortly. But for now, let's. Okay, our break is almost over. We have just 4 more minutes left before we get back into the remaining parts of our class. Okay. The assignments are going to be sent to your Google Drive. For those who have made payments, you're going to get access to a Google Drive folder where you can easily access the assignment folder. Everything is going to be organized. You're going to see day one live session and the day one assignments for you to see the assignments and the data set as well. Everything you need is going to be there for you to access and then use. Then we also have, okay, for the Naira sign to be close to it, normally it's either you work on the alignment. If the alignment is in the center, it's going to be in the center. And you can also, depends on your default currency. So you set it, the default currency is always closer. Okay? So you set the alignment to be in the center, and then it's going to be in the center. If it's too far, it's going to be too far. How did you make the links will be shared to the mailing address we sent because using phone is not clear? Or you can always watch this video on YouTube. We're live on YouTube now. You can log in YouTube with your laptop and watch it on your laptop. And the video, of course, the link will be sent also on your Google Drive. You can always watch it later. This session is open to everybody. One more minute before we continue our class. How do you enter currency? I didn't enter currency. I used under the home tab. You can see where currency is written there. This is currency here. Under the home tab. Under this number, you just come here and you select currency. After highlighting the cell you want to put the currency on, you highlight this cell, for instance, and then you click on this under the home tab, and then you choose currency if that's what you want. Okay. If you're trying to change the currency, then you come here. You see this, there's a money symbol here. Under this currency place, there's a money symbol here. Set it, and then you're going to see other currencies that you can choose from. Switzerland. And then you can, if you want more, you click on more accounting formats. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, 4:12 and we're done with our break. Welcome back, welcome back. Let's continue with what we have to handle. Now we have done some rests. We've also touched a little bit on autofill and flash fill. But let us still touch on it more while we do absolute and relative references as well. Okay, so let me show you a little bit more on flash fill. So what we have here now is name, right? But I want to change this now to full name. Welcome back. If you're back, type it in the chat that I am back, and you're ready to go. So let's get into the business. This is full name now. So I'm going to give them some names. Let's say Suleiman Sambolo. Enter. You can just don't, it's good now. This thing is never entering. So I'm going to show you how to just give her a simple name. I don't have strength to overthink. David Ayuba. David is from the south. Please don't mind the names. I'm just coming up with names at this moment. Adepoju Alade. That's Yemi Alade's brother. Then Kevin, what? Kevin Hart. Kevin Shabo, don't worry, it doesn't matter. Ijoma Adeleke. Nimot what? Yemi. Oh, let's just give her something. Nimat Ali. Okay. I don't want to overthink. Let's manage it like that. Okay. Now, how do we do this? We have to, you can see some names here are not entering properly, right? But we want to fix them so that you enter properly. I just come here to the edge of this A and B. And you're going to see that sign that comes there. I'm just going to double tap on it. And it's going to open up and align all the words. Everything will show properly. In case if you don't want to align all the cell every time you want to do, no. Sometimes you just need to align only one column. So just come in between here. You're going to see like the symbol is showing. You can see the symbol showing there. It looks like a plus, but it has arrowhead. Just double tap on it and then it's going to open that column for you. That's it. Okay. Now what I'm trying to explain here, let me start a cell. Right click, insert, automatic. Right click, insert, automatic. If you highlight that thing and you insert, it knows that you're trying to insert a new column. So now what am I trying to do here? I want to show you the power of flash fill. So let's say I want to extract the first name and I want to also extract the last name. Okay. So if I type Suleiman here now, just see what happens. I type Suleiman as the first name, right? Excel doesn't know what's happening yet. But as soon as I try to type Anna here now, can you see what's happening? It has automatically suggested that this guy, it seems you want to change, you want me to understand everything here. Okay. How do I accept the suggestion? Tab. As soon as I press tab, it automatically extracts all the other names and puts it down there. That is what we call flash fill. It just flashes and then he fills it for me. The same thing happens here. If I want to get his last name, I type Sambolo, right? It doesn't know what's happening yet. I press enter. As soon as I type Matthews, I want to type Matthews. I've not even typed the Matthews yet. I just put MA. You can see some flash showing at the back of the suggestion, like, okay, are you trying to type Matthews? And I say yes. What do I press next? Tab, TAB. Boom. Everything enters automatically. You can see that. So that is the power of flash fill. It just flashes and it fills the entire thing for us. We don't need to overthink. You can see here now, this is the flash fill options popping on. That is flash fill. Now, in certain cases as well, maybe you want to number this. You can see this number is not aligned now. It is just showing, it is naming full name as number one. I don't want that. I want my number one to start from Suleiman Sambo. So let me add another thing here now. I'm going to call serial number. That's how we call it now. Serial number. So I want to start serial number for this thing now. But the serial number now, there are different ways to do it. This one is only 7 now. So you can type it one by one. 1, 2, 3. But if you have 50, are you going to be typing 1, 2, 3, 4 onto 50 for all of them? No, that is too slow. There's a faster way to do it. Okay? You just press 1 first of all. It doesn't know what's happening yet. We press 2. Okay? Now to fill the rest down, what we have to do is I will go back to 1. Then I'll press shift and enter. Sorry, shift and down arrow key. And then it selects 2. Now, if I drag this, after it selects 2, come to the bottom right of 2, you're going to see a small plus sign that shows there. Drag this down like this and see to the last one. And it's going to automatically remaining numbers. That is autofill. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 7. Okay? If I want to continue this thing now, I can continue to 30. You can see what happens. You're going to continue filling it. 7, 8. So I don't need to type in. I cannot be typing 1, 2 until 30. No, now. If you like, continue. Continue down. Just keep on dragging this. Fill it to 73. I can keep on going and going and going. Okay? So that is how it works. Now let me just delete that quickly. That is flash. That is autofill for us. But some people now, they will think that's how it works. Maybe you want everything to have one number. You don't want to change the number, right? Maybe this is not serial number. This is another number. We type 1 here. We press enter. If we drag this down now to this place, everything is just going to fill for us is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's not what we want. So don't get confused. We don't want to give us 1, 1, 1 only. We want it to do 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you want 1, 1, 1, then just type 1 and drag it down, or type 2, or whichever number you want, and drag it down. It's going to give you that number till the end. Okay? But in our case now, we don't want 1, 1, 1. We want other things. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to type 1. I'm doing it again. Then I type 2. Now this now at least it will trigger his senses, and his Excel sense will now set and be like, okay, this guy wants me to continue. Let us do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no problem. How do we do 1, 2, 3, 4? Highlight 1 first, press shift and your down arrow key to highlight 2 as well. So it selects the 2, 1 and 2. Then you now come down here. You see a plus sign, just a small plus sign by the bottom of 2. Then you can double click it and it will autofill to 7 to where your data stops. If our data stopped at 50, if we just double tap it, instead of dragging down manually, dragging down to is a manual process sometimes, just double tap it and it will fill it to that down part. Okay? So that is simple and straightforward on the difference between autofill and flash fill. All right. So now that we've gotten that difference and we understand it, our next is to know the difference between absolute and relative references. Absolute and relative references. Now, for instance, we want to calculate these people's. Let me delete this. We're done with sum, average, and this now. I think everybody understands this. Let me delete this so we can do something else. Let's say we want to calculate their tax. Everybody's paying tax now. Amount of tax they want to injure us with. So let's say our tax is 10%, right? I just put 0.1 as 10%. But when I come here, I want to change it to percent. If you understand what I just did now, flash fill and how to make 1, 2, 3, type it in the chat that you understand those before we move on to absolute and relative references. Okay. Yes. So for those that understand flash fill, autofill, and how to use it to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also how to separate the name. Type it in the chat now so I know that we're together. We're together. Okay. Now, if I want to change this cell to be percentage, this is our tax is 0.1. If I click on this, is to multiply it by 100. Then now our tax is in percentage. So this is 10%. Okay. This is 10% tax. Good. So we want to calculate each person's tax on their salary that they're getting. How do we do that? So I just come here, I create a new cell. I'm saying this is tax due. It's tax rates. Let's call this tax rates to make it different so we don't get lost at any point. Tax rates. Okay. So what is the tax due now? I'm going to press equal to. I want to calculate the tax due. Then I say 35,000. That is I2 multiply by, to calculate tax, we multiply it by the percentage, 10%. I press to pay tax of 3,005 because of the tax rate of 35,000, right? Okay. Now, in a normal instance, if I drag this down, it is supposed to calculate for others as well, right? We've done calculation for others, but now you can see what's happening here. If I double tap, or let me go back and just drag it down to the last, it is giving me 0, 0, 0 for others. Why is it giving me 0, 0 for others? The reason is simple. It is because all of these other cells are empty and it is taking them as 0. This is cell what? J2. J2 is empty. H3 is empty. J3 is empty. J4 and all these other cells are empty as well. So if you multiply 100,000 by 0, you get 0. So all these things are going to show 0. This is what shows us the importance of things like absolute reference. Now, how do we tell Excel? I want you now to be changing only in my formula now. The formula is what? I2, that is 35,000, which is the I, the salary formula, the salary column rather, multiplied by the tax. J2 is the tax, right? Okay, that's what gives us that 35. Please follow along so you don't get lost. I want you now, don't change J2. J2 should be constant, K. Should be the absolute reference. Don't change it. Maintain it. I want to be calculating salary, the tax due for others based on this simple tax rate, only one tax rate that I have. Another way you can do it is to just fill 10, 10, 10% for others. But in some instances, maybe you don't have it, you don't have space in your data to do that. You just want to calculate based on one simple tax rate. How do you do it? I'll make J2 now our absolute reference. I'll highlight it. Then I'm going to, on your keyboard, what you press is F4. Okay? In some people's keyboard now, you press Control F4. Your own, you can try it. Just type F4. Different keyboards. If you are using a Mac, if you're using Lenovo, HP, Dell, in most cases, it is just Control F4 or just F4. But for some systems like Lenovo that I'm using, for instance, now, you need to type FN. You look it is function. It's just beside Control, CTRL. Just hold Fn, then press F4. Then can you see what happened to J2? J2 now has a dollar sign before J and a dollar sign before 2. That has made it an absolute reference. So if I press enter now, the answer still remains 35. But if I drag it down, it is going to calculate every other one for me using the simple tax rate of 10%. It's not going to change this. The reason why this thing is here now is just because it's here. We might have our tax rate here, for instance. Let's even say it's not tax rate we're calculating. We're calculating something like you're owing something. Everybody needs to pay dues. You have dues to pay. Let's say you have dues, departmental dues. You say everybody is going to pay how many percent of departmental dues? Maybe let's say everybody's paying. I want to do it quickly. Everybody's paying. Okay, this cell is formatted as this. Let me clear this format. Let me clear this format in this particular cell. So it's just normal. I'm just going to format this now as 20%. So everybody is meant to pay 20% due. Let's call this departmental due. Department dues. Okay. Let me open this. So to pay department dues of 20% now, we have only one showing us here. Department dues is just down here. How do we now calculate department dues? Just come here. Maybe we want to calculate department dues here and then say, just call it dues, right? We now say, okay, department dues is equal to 35,000. I'm going to do it again using apt reference. I2 multiplied by what? I12. See, I've clicked this. That is where it is, okay? Now, to make it the absolute reference, I'm just going to highlight I12 again, and then now press F4, Fn, F4 in my keyboard. In your keyboard, Control F4 or just F4. It depends. Try both of them. And then it gives you this dollar sign. If it fails, just redo it and then you're going to get it. In most times, it's just Control F4 or just F4. But for Lenovo laptops, like I mentioned, Fn, F4. And for some other laptops, it might be different. If you're using a MacBook, for instance, as well, a MacBook might be Fn, F4 as well. So I click on enter. Due is 7,000. Now, if I drag this down, that's calculated for everybody. Hannah is paying 30,000, David 50,000, and so on and so forth. This is what we call absolute reference because it is not changing this 20%. If I click on this cell now, you're going to see that the formula in the cell is what? I3 multiplied by this same I12. It is not changing I12. If I click on this next cell to open it, you can see it is I4 multiplied by I12. It's not changing. Let's check the last one. Is what? I8 by I12. That is absolute reference. But in the case of the relative reference that we did before, that we just said, for instance, maybe everybody now is paying, we're adding salary, we're adding money to people's money now. We want to add 5,000 to everybody. We're adding 5,000 to everybody. So we have it here like this, right? 5,000. Then it's dragged down. We now come here to say salary addition. Maybe they're getting promotion. To do that, we just come here. This is relative references now. Equal to salary I2 plus 5,000 K2, enter. That's 40,000. If I double click this now, every other person has added automatically. Why did they add? Because they already have 5,000 here to be added. So if I click this next cell here now, you see the formula here. It's I3 plus K3. So the formula keeps on changing as the cell keeps on changing. If I click this now to open this last, second to last, you see the formula here is what? I7 plus K7. So the formula keeps on changing. That is relative reference. Okay. So that is a brief explanation on relative reference and absolute reference. I tried my best to make it um, explanatory as possible. So if you understand the difference between relative references and absolute references, I want to see some kudos in the chat. Put some kudos. Kudos. Say I understand relative and absolute references. Let's get that done. You can always rewatch this video to understand it better, to understand the difference between relative and absolute. The simple difference is this. In relative reference, the cell that you are referencing must have a figure, else you're going to get an error. So every cell beside it must have its own corresponding figure. But in absolute references, you can reference just one cell and use it to multiply multiple cells. Okay, that is it. I think that explains it better. Good. Now let us move to, we have touched autofill and flash fill. We have also touched absolute and relative references. Let us quickly move to text to columns. I'm going to just use text to columns and then explain the other things together. So let's import a new data set. I'm jumping to text to columns because I want to explain something quickly. So to do that, we can always come here to our text to column sheets. Remember, we have different sheets here. Text to column sheet. Let me delete this. Quickly delete this. We have a CSV, comma separated value data. Let me import one data set. Where is it? I think this is it here. Let me open it. If you understand absolute, then you understand relative. Absolute is even the one that should be complicated. So if you understand absolute, what am I trying to do? Just enter and control A. Control. So I do come here, and sometimes, okay, I was rushed too much. Let me go back. Sometimes you might have a data that looks like this. You can see this data that looks like this now. It is just scattered, but we want to bring this into Excel to make sense. I want to make sense out of this data. How exactly do I make sense? I've already copied it. So I'm just going to close this, come back here, and I'm going to paste it. Now you can see it is pasted, but it doesn't make any sense. It just looks like, what the hell? Now to make it better, we are going to go to text to columns. I've highlighted the entire cell. So the entire A is highlighted. Don't forget to highlight it. Remember where we saw text to columns before? Where was it? It was under data tab. So you come to data tab and then you come to text to columns. We want to separate all this text and put them inside different columns. We click on text to columns. Now, it's going to ask us for, in 3 different steps, how to make this align. We have a preview down there. You can see the preview. It's asking us, is this thing, is it delimited? Delimited means that it is separated by characters, maybe like commas or tabs or something. If it is fixed to it, maybe all of them have a particular, maybe after 5 characters, it's now separated or something like that. But in our own case now, it is separated by commas. You can see everything is first name, last name, everything is separated by commas. So we just say it is delimited. So delimited is highlighted here. Then we click on next. It's now asking us, what is the delimiter that is separating your data? I'm going to come here and select comma. Let me unselect tab. Once I select comma now, you can see here that we have, it has given us a preview that, okay, this is what it looks like. All right, now I'm in my head, I'm like, good. My preview looks okay, right? So looking at your preview first. If your preview looks okay, then you are most likely good. And you click on next, and it's asking me what is the data format I want to leave. I'll tell you, don't worry, just leave everything as general first. When I want to change anything, I'm going to change it. Okay, so I'm going to change it, don't worry about it. Then I'm going to now click on what? Finish. Now you can see everything now looks a little bit more reasonable. See this other date is showing ash, ash, ash. How do I make it better? I come in between G and H and I see that my symbol, I double tap and it opens up. Simple and straightforward. Okay, now I'm going to bring this data a little bit closer to you so you can see what it looks like while we start our formatting. Okay, exposed it now and it is now showing too much. Or let's just align everything not opened yet. Some are not reasonable. So we select all, and then we do what we did before. For those who are still confused, we'll just do alternate HOI. Remember, and everything is aligned again. So everything is opened. It's going to make sure everything fits as they're meant to fit. Now, the simple thing we can easily do now, let's make this, let me start some brief formatting. I'm just going to highlight this first cell and then I'll do Control B, make it bold. Me, I like to format my first row to just look sensible. I'm going to use that other color before. Let me change it now. Then I can also change the letter. I come here, maybe I want to make it white. If I make it white, then I have to make this a little bit darker. Yeah, it has to be a bit darker. Should we use purple? I think I prefer this green. Okay, let me leave it green, and then the first name everything is white. Okay, good. So this is text to columns on, good to go. So in case if you have comma separated values, for instance, and you want to change it to this, all you have to do is first of all paste it in the cell. You don't just paste it in the cell, highlight that cell. You don't need to enter the cell, just click on the cell and then paste it, and then you go to data, then you do your go to data, text columns, and then follow the prompts exactly how it is, and you're going to get it done. Okay. Now that we know how to do text columns, we have to understand how to do things like trim, upper, lower, and proper functions. Okay. So remember I showed you how to make this first cell not to move. I want to do it again now. So I'm going to come to view. I'm going to freeze the first column. So if I'm moving like this now, I can be seeing the names. I don't need to be confused about who I'm talking about. Now let's quickly do trim. I'm going to create a new trim, upper, lower, and proper. And I'm going to explain all of them one by one. We're almost done with today's class anyway. So we need to hurry up. We're going to be out of here by 5 p.m. West African time. So how do we use trim? Trim is very simple. Give me 1 second. Okay. Trim is very simple. How do we use it? Trim, most times you cannot see it by yourself. You can only see it maybe if you have obvious spaces on your data. What do I mean by that? For instance, we have this John that we have here now. Maybe there was some space behind it. There's some space here like this. That's not making it look good. It just trims white spaces. Trim just normally trims spaces. Just trims white spaces. So you can see I'm adjusting my data so that you can understand it properly. So you can see all this one that I'm adjusting. Our data does not look organized properly. So if I want to trim all those white spaces now to just make our data, remove all those spaces clean so that when you're doing your analysis, you don't cause confusion. Because in most cases, when you're doing your analysis and you tell it, give me a unique value, like John for a duplicate, maybe if John appears twice, but one John has space, the other one does not have space, it is going to treat them as separate things. Excel normally treats spaces as characters. So the same way you are seeing J as a letter, space is also a letter for Excel. So it will treat it as two different John, even if what separates them is just the space. So it's always good to use trim to make that clean. So the data is just clean, and then when you're trying to do some analysis, it doesn't confuse Excel. So to do that, we just come here, we type equal to trim. You can see the suggestion already. Then I press tab. It gives me my suggestion. Then I'm going to click on this John. And I press enter. Can you see what happened? John is now back to his senses, right? If I use we've done our autofill before, so you are used to it by now. Double click it. If it doesn't go, you can drag it down and it's going to bring others as well. You can now see John, Mary, blah, blah, blah. All of them now have what they're meant to have. So I'm just going to select these ones. Where did I start my edit from? To number 11. Let me copy this and paste here properly so we don't spoil our data. 11. How I pasted it, I pressed Ctrl Shift V because I don't want to paste the formula. So I'm pasting it as just a text. There are two different ways to paste something in Excel. You can paste it by either just Ctrl C, then you go to that cell and you press Ctrl V, or when you press Ctrl C to copy it, it copies that cell with the formula. But if you want to paste it without the formula, you just want to paste only maybe the numbers or only the text there without the formula so it doesn't keep changing. You now press Ctrl, Shift, and V to now paste only the text. Okay? So that's what I did here now. I pasted only the text. That's why you can see this is Ahmed and John and the rest. Now, how do we do upper? Upper just simply means uppercase, meaning that we want to change this now maybe to capital letter all through for John. We just do equal to upper. You can see it as giving us suggestion. We press tab to accept suggestion. Click on John. You can see now John is capital letter. Okay. Then we can drag this down. You can see every other thing is capital letter as well. That is pretty straightforward, I guess. The same thing for lower. Remember, you always use equal to lower. Then we press tab. As soon as we get that, we select John again. Everything is now going to be smaller. If you come here and you do this, you're going to see everything small letter. Now for proper, proper happens in instances where some people don't know how to type. Some people will just type John like this. They will put capital letter here. Then for Mary now, maybe Y is the capital letter. Then Ahmed, they put M and E as capital letter. Then for Grace now, maybe A is capital letter. And Samuel, L is capital letter. You can see all these things now, it doesn't make any sense. Do you want to now start correcting all of this one by one? Let me start editing it one by one, correcting. No, you don't need to do that one by one. No. You have Excel. They give you names that are not typed properly. You want everything to just be properly done. What do? Come here. Let me show you. You come to proper. Click on the cell. Remember your formula, equal to. Then you type what? Proper. It's giving me suggestion. I press tab. It opens proper for me. I select the first one. Remember to select the first one you want to change. Only that first one. Then you close your brackets and press equal to. You can see now, John is back to his senses. The next thing we need to simply do to change every other one again is to say, okay, those other changes, what do we do? We just drag it down to 41. Everything is going to be done properly. All of them properly. Okay? So that is basically it. That's how to do it. Instead of editing each cell one by one to be saying, this person, why you would have capital letter here? No, small letter. Proper will give you proper. It's going to align it properly. Capitalize the first one and make the rest small. But if you want to capitalize all of them, you use upper, capitalize all. Some people, in some documentation, they want the surname to be capitalized. You just capitalize it, use upper, instead of editing each thing one by one. No, that's not how to do it. We have faster ways to do things. Okay? Now, I believe we understand how to do that. How to use trim, upper, lower, and proper. If you understand that, I want to see some chat saying I understand, use this. Oh. I believe you can still hear me. Please confirm you can hear me by typing in the chat. If you can hear me loud and clear, just to confirm that you can hear me loud and clear, please type that in the chat that you can hear me loud and clear. I want to confirm that you can hear me. Please confirm in the chat that you can hear me loud and clear before I continue. Can you hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me loud and clear, please, I need your comments. So I'll continue. Okay, loud and clear. I have some comments, loud and clear. Good. Now let's continue. What do we have next to handle? We are following our one by one. We're following one by one, so nobody is confused. We are almost there. We're almost done. Remain sorting and filtering, which is the last thing we're handling. So let's learn how to remove duplicates. Let me duplicate this data now so we understand what that means. So let me just copy maybe one part of this data. Some data sets now would have duplicates that you don't need. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, and then add it down here. We're starting from 42, and I paste it here. So that is duplicate for us. But I want to delete this. Let me delete this once. We're done with all of this. So I'll just delete it. That is gone. Now we have duplicate data here, but we don't know where it starts from. Let's imagine I duplicated it in your presence, yes. But in some instances, you don't know where it's starting from. Maybe Tunde is repeating itself. You can see we have Tunde Akinwale here. If we scroll around here now, we are still going to see what? Another Tunde Akinwale in number 22. So how are we going to start checking all of this by one to start deleting one by one? That's not possible. So we can't do that one by one. How do we now align this? It's simple. We just come to this data where we were before, and then I'm going to Control A to select everything, and I'm going to now come here to remove duplicates. Just beside text columns, you see something here. Once you don't know what something is for, just keep your mouse on it. It is going to give you, it's going to explain what that thing is for you. For instance, now it is written there, remove duplicates. Delete duplicate rows from a sheet. You can pick which columns should be checked for duplicate information. Meaning that once we select this now, we can tell Excel where we want it to check for the duplicates from. Do we want to check for duplicates from the first name or the last name column? Should it be deleting duplicates from everywhere? Or should it check for these ones? Okay, now I want it to check everywhere. But if I want to check only the first name side, for instance, I'm going to unselect all and say, okay, just check first name. If you see anybody that has the same first name and last name, and then they still have the same department, please remove that thing from my data set. I don't want it. Okay? Because what's the probability? In some instances, maybe it's possible, but okay, let's now say they have the same order dates. That's why in most cases it's good to select all of them. That makes it a duplicate. If everything is the same, then it's definitely a duplicate. Then I just click on OK. It says what? No duplicate values found. Because why did it say that? Because we selected all. It also checked quantity, unit price, total price, and the rest. But this data here now doesn't have. We didn't copy for this rest. So we'll come back here now and tell it, okay, only check for first name and last name and remove them. Then I click on OK. Then it's telling me now 10 duplicates found and removed. 40 unique values remain. Then you click on OK. I made a mistake before. I didn't copy the entire thing. So we are back to our data that stops at 41. It has removed everything from 42 down because they are duplicates. Okay? So in some instances now, maybe you want to remove duplicates by email. Some people have, maybe they typed, I know the names are not duplicated, but maybe somebody used one email to be filling multiple data for us. So I'm just going to put some rough emails here now. That's gmail.com. Let me just do quick. Then let me also come down here, type hjk at yahoo.com. Come here to type ghh at gmail.com. I'm trying to delete by duplicate of mail. So in case if I see anybody with same mail, remove all those duplicates for me. Don't worry, you see what I'll do soon. Okay, so let's remove duplicates by mail. By only mail. Only mail is what we're going to select. So let me just do flash fill for this one. This thing is going to go and select what I did not send it. Okay, let's all of this will be removed. Mail for me. I want to send the mail. I don't want to send the mail, please. Leave me alone. Okay. Then I click on this. Let's give another mail here, gga at gmail.com. Then let me just rough this. It's going to delete a lot. Okay. All right, let's just autofill this. Let me autofill this. Let me just autofill this to the end. Let me autofill this to the end, then autofill these ones. What I'm just trying to do now is to say, you see duplicate mails in this data, remove duplicate mails for me, please. So how do I do that? Remember, select all your data, Control A, if you like, or if you select, even if you select one like this and you tell it duplicate, it's going to select all for you. Now I want to duplicate mails, so don't select all. Unselect all first, then click on only email. So it's going to check only the email columns, and if it sees email, it's going to delete the entire thing about that data. Okay, if I see duplicate email, I remove the first name and last name, and I'm keeping only one, which is the first one that I see. Then I'm going to click on OK. Guess what it says now? 34 duplicate values found and removed. Only 6 values remain, 6 unique values. Okay, so it has removed all those duplicates. Remember, I just did autofill for those other mails. Some mails I typed them differently, but some mails were the same. About 34 were the same. Okay, so I'm clicking on OK now. Now we have only 6 unique values. Don't mind this numbering here. It's counting the first name too. So that is how to remove duplicate values. You select by which particular column you want to remove the duplicates after you click on duplicate value, and then it removes any duplicate it sees. So if you're filling my form, for instance, now, and you go and use the same mail, I will just delete one of your data and only one will remain. I don't need to waste my time with that. So I'm going to undo that. Control Z to undo. Then I'm going to click on this email column, and then I'm going to come to home. Then use this delete to delete that. So we no longer have email column anymore. Now we are free from that. Now let me close this. This thing has gone to open what I did not send it. Now let's come to what we have to do next. We have done text to columns. We have done removing duplicates. We have done trim, upper, lower, and props. Now let's get into some basic sorting and filtering. This is 4:50. We'll be done in the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we'll take questions for the next 5 minutes, and then we'll end today's session. We're done with today's session. See you tomorrow. So, how do we do this? Sorting is simple. How do we sort our data, for instance? Let's say we want this thing now to arrange according to, put the lowest prices first, total price, or let's say the unit price. I want to see the lowest unit prices first, and then the highest should go down. So how do I do that? I've highlighted this unit price column. I'm going to come here. We're under home tab, but under editing group. Remember I said all these are called groups. Anyone you see here with the name is a group. So I come here now, just like I said, put your mouse over it, and then you're going to see it is written sort and filter. We want to sort it. I'm going to click on sort, and I'm going to tell it, okay, sort it from smallest to largest. Then I click on OK. Then it's going to ask me a very important question. This question, you should pay attention to it. It's asking me now, do you want me to sort everything together? Meaning that as I am changing the data, this particular column from smallest to largest, should I also be changing those other ones? Meaning that, for instance, if John Okeke has the smallest before, see John Okeke is number 2 now. I mean number 1, but it's written number 2 there. Should John Okeke now go down, or should John Okeke stay where he is? So it depends on you. If you don't want to mess with the other data, you only want to change and sort this particular column you are in, you tell it to continue with the current selection. But me, I want it to sort everything, change everything. If the lowest one, I want to see the person, the first name and last name with the lowest unit price. So I'm going to tell it expand the selection, and I'm going to click on sort. Now you can see unit price is 10. This person here now is Chinedu Ifeanyi. Chinedu Ifeanyi is the one with the lowest unit price. Then if we scroll down, let's go and find where John Okeke is safe. Okay, John Okeke is now 35. What? 450. John Okeke is number 35, but I'm guessing this is number 34. Anyway, you get the point. So it has sorted this data for us in the right way, that only the lowest is at the top, and then the unit price remains where it is. Now, if I click on this sort again and tell it to sort from largest to smallest, it's now going to ask me, should I expand? Now, let us do the other one. Now, I'm not going to expand. I'll say only continue the current selection. Then I click on OK. Can you see what happened now? It has sorted it from 900, which is the largest, down to 10. But guess what happened? It did not change this thing. Chinedu Ifeanyi exactly where it is. Chinedu Ifeanyi still stays here. So it didn't change the first name, last name, gender, and the rest. It only changed this unit price. In certain cases, that's what you need. But in most cases, you want it to sort everything together. So tell it expand the selection. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to change it back, and then just leave it exactly how it is. Now that is how to sort. Sorting by ascending to descending, or descending to ascending. Or if you want to do custom sorting, you can do some custom sorting as well, and then tell it, okay, sort by maybe this particular level. Start with this one. Start with unit price. After you sorted unit price from smallest to largest, then I want you to also sort the total price as well, from largest to smallest. So it's going to do multiple level of sorting. Depends on what you want. I wanted to first of all sort the unit prices from smallest to largest, then sort the total prices for me from largest to smallest. So let us now click this and see. Okay, so it has sorted it now out for us. This is the best it can sort. That's why you can see this total price is now mixed up. We have 100 here, we have 75. So it tried its best. It first of all focused on sorting these unit prices from 10 accordingly to the smallest to largest. Then it now started with total prices to the best of its way. Okay, to now sort them, you can see they are a little bit mixed, but yes, they have been sorted from largest to smallest. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is, I think I need to reset that anyway. So let's get back to our normal senses. John Okeke is back to where he is. Okay. Filtering, yes. Filtering can be done in a very simple way. What we do now, we can just come here to say filter. As soon as we click on filter, Remember, sort and filter are together, so you know which one you're clicking. I click here, I already click filter, filter is on. As soon as you click on filter, something is going to appear at the top part here. You can see this small arrow that appears by each one. I can now say, okay, maybe let me filter by, you know what filter is now. When you go to a website, for instance, and you want to filter something, you say filter by location. Maybe you're trying to shop for something, trying to shop for cars or shop for bags. And you say maybe on Gigi or something, you say filter by only the ones in Abuja or the ones in Lagos, or just filter just by electronics, for instance. So let's say I want to filter by electronics. So I'm going to come to the department column. Then that small arrow there, I'm going to click it. It is currently all of them. Then I'm going to unselect everything. Then I want to click only electronics. So only electronics now is selected. Then I click on OK. So what it means is now it is now showing me only data for electronics. If you look closely now, you see data set has reduced size. So the only thing I'm seeing here now is by electronics, electronics. Now let me now sort again by, filter. After filtering by electronics, I want to filter by electronics only in the north. So I'm going to come here, unselect all. Let me check for electronics that are in the north, only north and electronics. Click OK. Can you see? We have only three departments electronics in the north. Anna, Esther, and Faith. Electronics, region, north. We can come here. Now let's do it by north and east. So show me north and east together, but only for electronics. Then I click on it. You can see now we have more. That's how you can sort it. If you want to see all of them, you click on this and it selects all of them and it shows you for the entire region. And I come here back to the department, show me everything. I want to sort by only maybe, I want to filter by only female. I want to see only the female in this data. I select female, I click on OK. Now you can see only the females are here. Okay, that's it. You can also sort or filter by total price rather. I want to see only female. I don't want to see any female that got less than, let me unselect all these 40. I don't want to see all these cheap things. Let me only get only females that got maybe from 200 and above. So I'm just going to click OK now. You can see now. The only thing it's showing me now is females that are from 200 and above, that their unit price is what they bought. The unit price is from 300 and above. So that is simply how it works. Now, to clear filter, you just come here like I did, select all, and then click on OK. You come back here and then you clear. You clear the filter here, and then if you click on this filter again, it removes that small arrow you were seeing beside each of them. Filter is gone. Okay, that is one way to filter. That's one way to filter. The second way to filter is using slicers that we spoke about. Oh, sorry, this is already past 5. 1 more minute. Let me talk about slicers. We're meant to push this class till tomorrow, but let me just talk about slicers briefly, and then we end. To use slicers, we just press Ctrl T. To make this a table, we have to make this a table first of all, because before we can use slicers. Then I click on OK. Now this is a table. I'm just trying to show you slicers for now first. Then you can see here we click on Insert Slicer under Table Design. Then let me slice it. That's a form of filtering by first name and region. Let's just do it by first name and region only. Click on OK. Then you can see now we have some slicers here. Let me reduce the size of this slicer, it's too large. Then we have, okay, that's I zoomed out too much. Let me zoom out a bit. So now we have slicers here. If I just select, why did I put first name? What am I thinking? Let's just slice by region. If I want to see only one, for instance, now you can see it has given me my region. Okay. Which region did it give me? East. I selected only East. Then I can always come out and say, okay, table design. Let's say we want to have another slicer now by products, by product and region. So we click these two. So let's say this product, let's select belts. So it is now slicing and choosing this. If I want to select all of them, I do that. Let me quickly add a better slicer. I'm not slicing by the, but you get the point anyway. So we'll come here, come back to table design, click on insert slicer. Let's slice by what? Department. Department is a good slicer. So we want to see only the home in east, or home in the north and in the east. So what is it giving us? Home in the east has been selected, in the north as well. So that is how slicers work. We can easily undo this slicing and then just take it back to this product and then select all in case if this is not working. So now the slicers, you can just say, show me only north, fashion. Fashion in the north. Show me fashion. You select this one. Show me fashion in both north and south. You can see the two, right? So this is slicing using a slicer like this. They can easily just be clicking outside. It's outside your table. This slicer is outside your table. They can easily use. Today is not about tables. We'll talk about tables more later. And then when we get to that class, we'll handle it. But for today, at least you know how to use, where to get slicers from, how to use it, how to manipulate it, and how to do more about it. So we have come to the end of this class. We have come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions now, now will be a perfect time to type your questions in the chat. You can type your questions in the chat while I come back here to read the questions. Come back to the chat and stop sharing my screen because I believe that we have learned a lot. If you have learned a lot today, I want to see it in the chat. I have learned something. I have learned something. Have you learned anything today? I remain your amazing host, Bernard Moneme. So for tomorrow's class, which is day 2, we are not going to be on YouTube. It's only going to be available to those in our exclusive group. So if you want to be a part of that tomorrow's class, you will have to be in part of the exclusive group. And I guarantee that at the end of this 30-day Excel challenge, you're going to be taught on everything that we have written out in our calendar. And like I already explained earlier to somebody that was a bit confused, that the Excel live classes happens only on weekends, but during the weekday, you're going to be given tasks on what you need to do, okay? Assignments and things that you need to do. So you can watch this and always rewatch this. Yes, this is going to be always available for you to rewatch, and then you can always rewatch. This is going to be available on YouTube. Only today's class will be available on YouTube. The remaining classes would not be available on YouTube. It's only going to be available to our exclusive group members. Okay, so that is very, very important. We're going to be having our meetings on Microsoft Teams. So if you're on the exclusive group, download Microsoft Teams, and I'll see you there. That is where we're going to be having a lot of fun. Of course, we have over 100 and something people now live, but we'll leave the video open. I'm sure by tomorrow, maybe more people that were not available for this class can always rewatch. We try to make it interesting for those that are busy. So you can always come back and say, okay, I missed out. How can I catch up? Mary Adesuba, you came late for the class. Don't worry. This is available on YouTube. You can start from beginning and rewatch. It's available. Okay? So that's it. I see you. All right. Faisal, you have learned a lot. That's good. That's very good to hear. That's very good to hear. Amazing work. Amazing work. I thought I've stopped sharing my screen. Okay. That's great. Okay, so I'm taking questions now. We're done with today's class, but if you have questions, you can ask your questions. and I'm going to be answering all the questions. Can you save each work desperately? You mean separately, I guess. You can save each of them. It's going to be in the sheet. You're going to be. You can save the workbook. Okay, it's a workbook you can save. You can copy the sheet and then put it in a new workbook and save only that sheet. But if you save a workbook, you save the entire workbook. Please, with the recording, yes, the recording is available to everybody. Day one is open to everybody. We made day one available to everybody so everybody knows what they're getting out of this 30-day Excel challenge. So when you come here, you know that, okay, what exactly am I here for? You are here to learn Excel and practice to get better. We're going to be hanging out during the week. The group chat is going to be open. That's the exclusive group. Payments and everything closes from tomorrow. I'm not going over anything today. The recording is available. Go back and rewatch the recording. You can rewind this class and rewatch the recording to understand what we did for the addition, subtraction part. Pause it, replay it. I did it multiple times, so it's easy to understand. I explained everything. Mary Adesuba, join the exclusive group if you're not there. This is the class we're holding. The next one, maybe we'll have another one again later in the year, or it might be next year. But of course, we have different trainers. This is a partnership between Legrand Galaxy and Golden Professional Edu Consult. Big shout out to those coming from the Golden Professional Edu Consult side. And then for the next classes we're going to be having, we have partners as well, like Ultra Tech System. So for some of our trainings, you may not be seeing me, you'll be seeing some of our other trainers. But for this training, I'm going to be the host and I'm going to be helping you understand Excel. My name is Bernard Moneme. So later along the line, for some of our other courses, you may be seeing some other trainers. Don't fret, we're all together. Like Grand Galaxy, Golden Professional Edu Consult, all them, and so on and so forth. We have so many partners that we work together to bring you the best value. That is simply what this is about. Okay. Now I'm looking for questions, but I cannot see questions. To be part of the exclusive group, account number has been posted on your group. The account number has been posted on your group for you to get access to it. But in case you don't have any group, you can always drop a comment later in the chat because all these comments here are going to be disappearing. But please go back to your group. I believe a link was posted in your group. Go back to that group and just private chat your admin. Tell them, I want to join the exclusive group. Please only reply to the admin. Those groups are public groups. A lot of people will be coming to do funny things, but we don't respond to them. We only respond to the admins there. Private chat your admin, ask for the account number, they will repost it. Or just wait. After this meeting now, you're going to see the account number reposted again on the group. Okay? I'm using Microsoft 365, which is the latest version. If you want the latest version, you can get the latest version from us as well. We have license and to give that out. Please go over the addition and subtraction parts. So I believe I've added how can we part of the exclusive group. This is Abdulaziz. I've answered this question already. What else? Can you help us with the soft copy to study? I think I've answered all these questions. I have learned. That's good. I like this. I have learned how to add, subtract, sum, absolute proper filter. Feisha, you're very much welcome. Thank you very much for that amazing compliment. So I'm going to be ending this live session now. This is 5:15. I have more questions to answer here. So see you all next time. I don't want to make this session too long. It's 2 hours plus already. Oh, wow. Bye.